Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know why I will have made the absolute biggest political call of all time? And I know that there are some people who are just tired of me bringing it up all the time. But I will have made the absolute biggest political call. Share my Huffington Post article written in 2017, Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality, get ready for 8 years of Trump. Share my Times of Israel article published the other day, Hillary Clinton, not Biden, will be nominee. I don't have Facebook or Twitter, but if you do, share it on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else. Share those articles. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. I have one amazing segment a day on that channel, and it'll be up to 3 to 4 when Clinton becomes nominee, and I'll start doing live streams on that channel also. Things are going to heat up very soon, within the span of 2 to 3 months. They're not going to go with Biden on the centennial of the 19th Amendment when his phone recordings with Poroshenko and a Senate probe that links him and Hunter directly to a lot of corruption, potential corruption. Just like James Comey says, potentially. The word potentially has been redefined by Comey to mean anything that will cover his rear end and any outcome that he could then claim plausible deniability for. But subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. Subscribe to Bizarro World Goodman. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a really, really interesting segment. Zelensky seeks probe over leaked audio of Biden linking U.S. aid to Ukraine prosecutors' ouster. So, the issue pertaining to Burisma is the fact that Biden went ahead and threatened Ukrainian officials, saying that, well, if they don't make sure that a prosecutor is let go, if they don't fire a prosecutor, then they will not get over $1 billion in loan guarantees. This is not seen as corruption to Democrats, even though Hunter's on the board of directors of Burisma, getting, by one estimate, $3.4 million. He has no background, and he has no background in energy, yet he's still deemed as an important figure to be hired for the board of directors. Well, how do you get on the board of directors of a company? How do you get on the board of directors of a company if you don't have any background? Then now there's this slow daily routine where we find out something absurd or horrendous about Biden. Now today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not selling you anything. It's happening right before our very eyes. Do you want to know what the article, if you type in Hillary Clinton, Hillary rakes in millions for Biden, but he's still far behind Trump. Of course he's still far behind Trump. He'll never catch Trump. Hillary rakes in millions for Biden, but he's still far behind Trump. The 2016 nominee broke a record for a single event without Biden in attendance. But the Democrat faces a big cash gap with Trump. She literally raised millions herself without Biden in attendance. Do you think those millions? You think she's doing it? You think that this is like, we already saw $10 billion raised for the people of Haiti. It went nowhere. It did not go to the people of Haiti. Do you think she raked in millions of dollars for Biden? Hillary collected $2 million for Joe Biden's new fundraising committee with the Democratic National Committee this week, an enormous one-night haul for the once cash-strapped campaign. In one night, Clinton, without Biden in attendance, raised $2 million. Does that make any sense to anyone here, people? Does that make any sense to anyone here? Jimbo! If Dems didn't see anything wrong with Uranium One, then this is a trifle. Exactly. Jimbo! They don't see anything wrong with any conflict of interest they're a part of. When you type in Joe Biden, you get Zelensky seeks probe over leaked audio of Biden linking aid to Ukraine prosecutors' ouster. Fox News, you get New York Post recording of calls between Joe Biden, ex-Ukraine President Poroshenko leaked. You get, that's New York Post. PBS, Senate panel approves subpoena in Hunter Biden probe. Then you get New York Post, Senate committee authorizes subpoenas in Hunter Biden probe. So, CNBC, Joe Biden calls a GOP's Hunter Biden probe a smear aimed at saving Trump's job. NBC News, Senate Republicans aim to turn Biden Burisma. And then they use the phrase conspiratorial. Everything is just a fantasy when it comes to Democrats. There's no suspicion. Democrats don't know the meaning of suspicion when it comes to them. They have no clue. They don't care. And that's why when Clinton runs again, and I will have made the biggest political prediction, Jimbo! Give my best to everybody at the pub, Jimbo! Give my best to everyone at the pub, Jimbo. Thank you. When I say that I will have made the biggest political prediction, even now, when I tell people that I know, yeah, it's going to be Clinton, they just roll their eyes. This charade has worked like a charm, ladies and gentlemen. Has worked like a charm. Nobody thinks that it's even possible that Clinton's going to be nominee. Even when the communications director for the DNC actually states we're not officially nominating Joe Biden to take Donald Trump. And then I get people saying, well, she didn't really mean that. It's impossible to fathom. And I called it in 2017. And just like believe with Kavanaugh and then don't believe with Biden, and then conflicts of interest, alleged conflicts of interest that were fabricated with Trump, and then because they didn't impeach him on any criminal statutes, but you better believe they would have impeached. You better believe they would have impeached Madam Secretary on numerous criminal statutes pertaining to top secret and special access program intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government. In addition to other issues as well. But Democrats have no problem adopting the narrative of the day wholeheartedly. The Columbia Law School that opposed Kavanaugh, I believe that, let's see, you want to talk about the height of hypocrisy. You want to talk about the height of hypocrisy, people. Let's see, Columbia Law School. As Biden gives commencement address, Columbia faculty who opposed Kavanaugh downplayed Tara Reade allegations. This is unbelievable. Now they have Joe Biden delivering a virtual commencement address at the Columbia Law School on Wednesday. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They said Kavanaugh's temperament was disqualifying. Don't you understand the way they work? Trump's ties to Russia. Trump invited Russia. There was interference. Kavanaugh's temperament. He wants to interfere in the election. He withheld military assistance to go after his political rival. We have to impeach him. We have no direct evidence, but we don't need it. There's no direct evidence in the form of an email saying that Madam Secretary took money through her foundation to give beneficial treatment to those who gave the money, but it happened about 30,000 times. But you know, correlation does not equal causation. Brian Morrow, sup, HA? I will always consider you the Brian MS, your political podcast. Democrats need to drink some Kool-Aid and wait for the mothership. That's right. Yep. Brian Morrow, thank you so very, very much. Thank you for the kind words, Brian. Thank you. It's happening, people, but in slow motion. It's happening in slow motion. Brian and Jimbo, everyone at the pub in Australia. It's happening in slow motion, Brian. I can't speed this up. I wish I could, because I'm getting tired of listening to myself. Oh my God, you have no idea. The person who is most tired and annoyed with listening to me say that I made the biggest political call of all time is me. I'm tired of it. I don't want to say it anymore, but I can't stop saying it. It's happening slowly but surely before our very eyes. Even the DNC communications director says we are not officially nominating Joe Biden to take Donald Trump, and still people don't believe it. They don't believe it. Hillary rakes in millions for Biden, but he's still far behind Trump. Money talks, honey. Money talks. Money, honey. Money talks, baby. Money talks. You know what walks. Hillary's money talks, Biden walks. You can also, use different words here and there. Brian, thank you, Jimbo. Has HRC ever been recommended for prosecution to the DOJ by a congressional committee over anything? No, I don't believe so. No. There were 600 requests for security and assistance with a word that I can't even bring up on YouTube. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I don't even want to take a chance. Jimbo, this is going to be the end of Democratic politics as we know it. The issue, Jimbo and everyone here, is that the media has no longer been somewhat biased. They no longer had a leaning one way or another. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is overtly. There is absolutely no doubt. There is absolutely no doubt because the media has become an extension of the Democratic Party. So I want to let you know something. Jimbo, do you remember during that 10-hour where actually she committed perjury there regarding her email servers, but regarding classified intelligence on email servers. But do you remember, ladies and gentlemen, Jimbo, do you remember when she went like this? I got text messages from friends of mine that day when she went like this. Just this petulant, the Democrat, oh, she won the election. She won the election with that pose. That pose, it made Republicans look so bad. That pose, oh my God, that pose, oh, she won the election. It was so fantastic. She won the election. Meanwhile, there's never any suspicion. Do you understand? There's never any suspicion, and little public relations ploys, stunts. The shimmy was one of them, but that didn't catch on. Remember the shimmy? The shimmy. Oh, the shimmy. That didn't catch on. She went like this for about 5 hours in the mirror. Does this look natural? Yes, it does. It looks so natural. You should do that. You should shimmy while you're I have an idea. You should shimmy while you're debating Trump. And this will the American people will say that you're honest and natural and not conniving. So, and when they go with Clinton again, Jimbo and Brian and everybody here, when they go with Clinton again, it's going to be a seamless transition because they don't understand what hypocrisy means, or they don't. See, they are petrified of the notion. So they're going to keep Biden through. They don't care. Okay, Tara Reid allegations, everything bizarre that he says. He's stuck in his basement. He can't even conduct a virtual teleconference. The DNC communications director literally said, we are not not officially nominating Joe Biden to take Donald Trump. That is they believe a verbatim statement. No, still people don't believe. Just less than a year ago, about 6 months ago, Madam Secretary says, I'll support the nominee because I think I know who it's likely going to be. And don't tell me that she endorsed Biden. She never said I endorse you for president. He never said she endorsed me for president, ever. Notice how Biden has never said that Clinton endorsed him for president, ever. It's not on his YouTube channel. He didn't tweet it. She didn't tweet about it. That was the same thing as when Clinton's not running, as her voice was panned over, was overshadowed by the local cable station narrator's voice. And for the first time ever, she's not running. Oh, she's not running. She's not running. Pass it along. She's not running. Pass it along. Hey, she's not running. You mean the Democrats have a primary now? Yeah, she's not running. Eric Swalwell could win. Bill de Blasio might win. Bernie Sanders won't, because we'll make sure that, there's an app in Iowa that doesn't work out. Oh my God. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with 2016 again. As they gleefully march towards the edge of the cliff yet again and just jump over all of them. It's going to be so rewarding, my God. It's going to be so rewarding. It's going to be so rewarding. Clinton raised the money during the Zoom fundraiser. She doesn't listen. Do you know of anyone? Could Bill Gates do this? Could any tech billionaire just raise $2 million from a Zoom conference? I want to know. Both Clintons have 150 million. They're not worth 40 billion, but they have access to the billions. I guess, Bill Gates, of course, does also. But, I mean, could you imagine just people giving $2 million? Maybe. But, I mean, does he have that much? What is he? A businessman or a tech entrepreneur has to sell something to get that money. We know what both Clintons sell. There's a word for it. And from a political sense, Clinton raised $2 million from a Zoom fundraiser without Biden in attendance. What? Excuse me? What? Have you ever seen a more transparent attempt at deception? And I am the only person yelling into the wilderness. I swear to God. It's like I'm annoying myself. People say, I'm so tired of you bringing it up. Well, me too. Believe me, nobody's more tired than me. I don't want to bring. You think I want to bring this up? I want to have eventually the victory laps. Bizarro World Goodman does a segment on it. H.A. Goodman's other channel does 20 segments. This channel does 5 million segments. Are you kidding? But it's happening slow, and you know what? She could be his vice president. Who knows? I wouldn't doubt it. If he picks someone else, that'll be Clinton's vice president. They're not going with Biden. And when it happens, all the people who are never Biden are going to be reluctantly Clinton. And you're going to see so many people on the left turn into me. Every day, so you're the next AJ Goodman. You're the next AJ Goodman. You're the next AJ Goodman. This is amazing. $2 million without Biden in attendance? Really? That's interesting. And then you have Columbia Law School. Actually, not only did they say by Kavanaugh's temperament, these are phrases that are broad, ambiguous terms that could mean anything. Interference. Trump welcomed interference. Did he work with Russian intelligence? Nobody welcomed interference. Did he work with Russian intelligence? And could he have been indicted on any crime at all? No. But he worked and he invited Russian intelligence. It was a work invite. It was a work invite, broad, all-encompassing venture. Oh, okay. So this is the way Democrats work. They make the most ambiguous, nebulous, broad claims. He invited interference. He said, and then you get Bernie. He turned into like he's a good human being, but he's definitely engaged in so many despicable tactics where even he turns himself into the biggest imbecile on the planet. Russia, are you listening, Putin? Wherever you are, Putin. Okay, maybe Sarah Palin can see you, and I certainly can. If you're watching, if you're listening, I do not want help, even though you gave me help, and you and me and Jill Stein and Tulsi Gabbard and anyone who disagrees with Democrats were part of your plot. But if you're listening anywhere, I don't want your help. Okay? I just want to let you know, Putin. If you try to help me, oh, I'll be so upset. Is that good? Is that good, Democrats? Oh, is that good? Oh, I love you. And then you have like everything he says. And then the worst thing about Bernie now, it's like people. This is a self-induced depression. Now they're like, oh, Herbert Hoover and George W. Bush and Trump. Do you see a correlation? It's like, no, this was self-induced by the wonderful media, where any expert that said, stay home forever, okay? Except when it's to vote in the primaries. That they were amplified, their voices were, any expert, any medical doctor that disagrees is now a quack. Like, completely disgraced. Oh, my God, what? Mortality rate about 0.5%, 0.1%, 0.2%. Oh, my God, no. You spontaneously combust if you don't go out with a complete full-body hazmat suit. No, there's nothing to do with politics. We don't want to, No. We did let people vote, and actually millions upon millions of people vote. But we won't let you work. So then you have Biden. No, you have Bernie who's like, just want to let you know, there are millions upon millions of people who are now firmly entrenched into one of my tweets because those people can't afford food. Yes, Bernie. And which side of the political divide wants to continually stop businesses? Which side of the political divide laughs at people when they want to open up their businesses? I guess you don't care about people, huh? So, This is not going to end well politically for Democrats because they are so delusional. It's not even funny. They are so, and when it happens, it'll happen in such a way that Clinton, what? But I didn't want to. Really? Me? Oh, me? Me? Are you serious? Me? Okay. Get the heck out, Biden. Great. Slimy sleazeball. Get out. But I'm telling you, you're going to get New York Times, Washington Post, and you're going to have Vanity Fair, you're going to have Daily Beast, you're going to have all these these publications. You know who we really need? We need Hillary Clinton. No, yes, no, what? No, yes. Are you serious? Yeah. Because Biden's 10,000th accusation and his billionth Burisma accusation and allegation and everything else he said and the fact that he jumped into the reflecting pool naked, maybe that's a issue. Maybe that's an issue. I don't know. Maybe we wouldn't even get the popular vote. Yeah. You know what? I don't like Clinton, but we have to rally around. We got to rally around Madam Secretary now. Okay? We got to rally around Madam Secretary now. That's all we could do. The Trump administration said it had over $255 million in cash on hand at the end of last month. And new filings with the federal election on Monday reveals that Biden had much less. Between Biden and the DNC, Democrats have $97.5 million in the bank. Wow. A lot less than half. Wow. Wow. Trump has $255 million. Let's look at all the ways that Biden is would lose miserably if he were actually the nominee. He would lose miserably. Okay? He has less than half the money. He has scandals that you can't even really, at a certain point, they're going to be demanding for an alternative. Here's how it happens. At a certain point, media is going to have enough of defending Biden. There's no way to conceivably do this. He's already losing swing states in certain polls. And this is May. He's not getting better. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, Democrats know they wouldn't even get the popular vote. The popular vote is a function of money spent. He has less than half the money that President Trump has. He has zero social media presence. Clinton does have some social media presence. And you don't need social media, but, okay, you don't need social media to win, but you need to have some presence. You need something. You need something. You don't need to, like, Bernie Sanders proved that getting retweeted 10 million times is meaningless. But having some social media presence is important. The only reason people retweet Biden's, boilerplate canned statements that he didn't even write, because the guy doesn't know anything about technology at all. There's no way that Biden has a campaign where they're propping him up. It's like Weekend at Bernie's, the movie, but the political edition, the political version. There's no way that he's really a part of anything. He's just he is just simply there as a He's just simply there to kind of be a placeholder, campaign against Trump. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the real campaigning starts after the Democratic convention. It really doesn't start now. This is basic. It's still technically the primary. It's still technically the primary. So, I mean, what Clinton is doing is brilliant. It's not going to work out, but what Hillary Clinton is doing is brilliant, and she's the only chance they have. She's the only chance they have. The issue is the notion that Democrats the notion that Democrats wouldn't go back to the same well because they have such a great political party full of ideas and nothing's rigged. They have yet to admit that Bernie Sanders was cheated. They have yet to admit this. And if you tell a Bernie voter, their eyes roll. Like, well, that was last election. This election is different. How is it different? Bernie didn't even get close this election. He got close last election, and after July 5th, 2016, I never said that he was going to become nominee, because July 5th, 2016, that was when Comey covered up Clinton's crimes. So, but Biden has 95 million. Trump has 250 million, 255 million, and Biden has 97 million. $255 million. Biden has and by the way, there's a huge fundraising gap. Once Hillary Clinton becomes nominee, that fundraising gap will lessen big time, and she might outspend Trump considerably. She might considerably outspend President Trump, which they will need to win the popular vote again. Eric H526, thank you. Loud Citizen, did I miss I apologize if I missed the chat. Loud Citizen. Brian Morrow, I apologized if I missed that chat. If I would have mishandled a single classified document, retired U.S. Army, if I would have mishandled a single classified document or any sensitive item, no matter how small, it would have been my career. Eric H5, Brian Morrow, it is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Thousands of classified emails, top secret intelligence, special access program intelligence. And Comey says, no intent. There was no intent. Thank you, Eric H526. Thank you. The Skitch. Come on, man. Please do Biden impression calling Clinton dogface voice holder. Thanks, HJ. The Skitch. Biden, the dog face pull. He told one of the his audience, one of the Democrats in the audience, who was very trying to be as kind as possible, to where she kind of stated something to the effect well, just to let you know, a lot of scandals have taken place, and you've done a great job, circumventing and getting through a lot of these scandals. Oops, did I say scandals? Oh, I didn't mean that. And then then Biden, in his usual ways, just want to let you know. And he literally says, I'm a Democratic caucus. What? Biden, what are you now? What kind of weird, bizarre thing are you now? I don't even want to think of what he was truly trying to say. And then he goes, and just, he goes, I bet you didn't know that, huh? You ever been to a caucus? You ever been to it? You ever been to one? Huh? Okay, weirdo. Keep talking like that. You've never been to one, huh? You're a lying, dog-faced pony soldier. It's just sketch. The sketch, thank you. It's like this is just the typical Biden nonsense. It's just the typical Biden nonsense. So, just on a different note, I haven't seen the documentary, the Last Dance documentary, but you see this. This is media at its worst. You get these articles. Michael Jordan burned bridges. LeBron James built them. I know who I prefer. Wait. Okay. I haven't seen the documentary. I love LeBron James, but I love Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan's the greatest. I would say Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. But then if you want to say, Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem or Bill Russell or my personal, who I think for me is the greatest player of all time is Magic Johnson. For me, if I had to pick one player, I would pick Magic over anyone else, including Jordan. But you have this documentary, The Last Dance, and apparently it's like created all these waves. I haven't seen it, but it's like, there's a whole bunch of editing, or who knows? Maybe there was no. Maybe it was just, what was said was in context. Probably not. But you get this, like, you just get this buzz that's almost certainly, like, if you asked Michael Jordan, hey, were you accurately quoted? Very likely he would say, no, I was not. I love documentaries, but it's so easy in a documentary. It is so easy in a documentary to paint one person as a villain and to paint another person I agree. Kobe over LeBron as well. I agree. Absolutely. 100%. But anyway, you just, like, the media. Oh, and by the way, all 335 people, do not, from here on out, and even until a month after the election when we win, and when Trump defeats Clinton for the second time in a row, do not ever, listen to me clearly, do not ever engage in a discussion with somebody who has derangement issues pertaining to President Trump. Don't do it. If it's a family member, friend, coworker, spouse, whatever, don't ever engage in a discussion. It never works out. What happens is if you use logic and reason and you form a rebuttal to anything that's said, then they get into this fantasy world tirade where they make things up, and then you say, well, he wasn't impeached. If he's a criminal, he wasn't impeached on a crime. Then they go back, and then they start going after you as a human being because they are obsessed. Listen. People say that there's people say, "Oh, you're obsessed with Clinton." No, I'm not. It's just a political machine that nobody understands. I want her to run every year. I never really say anything bad other than they're criminals, they're crimes that she's committed. What do I say? Do I go off on Clinton supporters? I don't care. They can. I want them to vote for Clinton. That's the difference. Democrats don't want me or don't want you to vote for Trump. I want them to vote for Clinton. I want them to. That's what I want. I'm happy when they vote for Madam Secretary. I am happy. Do you understand? But do not ever, 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 ever speak or debate or have an argument or a discussion or a dispute with anyone who has TDS. Because it'll never work out well. Trump did not get us into a military intervention. This economic collapse has nothing to do with Trump. We had record low unemployment, and they let's put it this way. Nobody could have foreseen this because nobody in their right mind would have ever said, let's tank U.S. society as we know it. You better believe if there were servers running in the White House and Madam Secretary were president and, oh my God, liberals and Democrats and media wouldn't be rabid every 2 seconds. Every 2 seconds. Every day there's a negative, horrific article. Every single day they haven't stopped for just the inauguration with crowd size. They haven't stopped. You better believe that the United States society and economy and the world as we know it wouldn't have tanked. How do we know? Because they let their primaries go. So you got to ask yourself, what kind of political party runs its primaries during a pandemic, but then says you got to tank, you can't work? And then they don't interview people who disagree with they don't ever interview people who disagree, like reputable, doctors, people. And it was never the choice between licking toilet seats and locking yourself in the basement for 10 years. It was never that choice. That was never the two choices. It could have been, well, if you're sick, you stay home. And healthy people can work, but take precautions. And if you're at risk, you stay home. But then everyone, you could be asymptomatic. Oh. Well, if that's the case, then the mortality rate plummets because you have a whole lot more people. And we're seeing the mortality rate plummet anyway. These shutdowns, and they're still pumping the belief that you're going to spontaneously combust. And this is not going to work out for them. Because this is the thing. You have to understand, this is 2016 all over again. Because they have a whole bunch of people, ladies and gentlemen, they have a whole bunch of people who are out of their minds in terms of contempt for Trump. You're talking about Trump derangement on a scale that you've never seen. And they're obsessed. They're obsessed. They hang and work, like listen to every tweet. They watch CNN, watching CNN and MSNBC and reading the New York Times and the Washington Post will make you think, Jimbo, exactly. Bill Maher's getting his wish. Exactly. It ain't going to work, though. And that's the thing. Jimbo, thank you. Thank you, Jimbo. Thank you. It ain't going to work, though. It ain't going to work, though. Jimbo, thank you very much. Society has tanked. The world as we know it will eventually come back. But you always have Democratic politicians say, we just don't know when we could ever be normal again. We have to protect you. It ain't going to work out for them. Because they think they're like, we're just protecting you. It's like, no, we know there's a political motive here. It's not that difficult. You let, 3+ million people vote in person? More than that? They let around 4 million people vote in person during a pandemic. I think that there's a political motive to all of this. I don't know. Maybe. Gee, there might be a political motive to this. I don't know. It should always have been, you take care of yourself, society takes precautions. I remember in Los Angeles, before like the mandatory shutdown, nobody was going to restaurants. Like, nobody. When I say nobody, I went to a restaurant with like 3 tables out of like 40 tables. I was one of 3 tables. And it's like businesses, before mandatory shutdowns, MLB, Major League Baseball already shut down its season. So you never needed mandatory shutdowns, complete statewide shutdowns. And you have states that didn't do that, and they're fine. And they say, well, it's science. We're basing it on science. No, you're not. Science doesn't... there's no... Warren, hello. Hello, Warren. There's no science that says you have to shut down the economy. These are economic decisions made by medical doctors, only the medical doctors that are being interviewed by the media. The ones that say, hey, you know what? This malaria drug could work. Those people are marginalized. The French doctor, Didier Raoult, I believe his name is. Yeah, Didier Raoult. I mean, they just, all they do is try to, all they do is the media is in complete public relations mode. Complete and utter public relations mode. It's pretty unbelievable. It is pretty unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Hillary Clinton is going to be nominee, ladies and gentlemen. Not only will this be the biggest political call for me, but it'll be amazing, like, the fact that I have such amazing people watching that we can celebrate together. I mean, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And then when you see like, when you see the absolute just 180, just the about face, the absolute, like, they go from Biden. Look, they went from believe to don't believe, and they're going to go from Biden to Hillary, and it won't even be an issue. It'll be a seamless transition, people. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Be here, people. I'm going to do another one in about 40 minutes. Be here in about 40 minutes, everybody. Be here in about a half an hour to 40 minutes, about 11:15 p.m. Pacific. Be here, all right? I'm going to be back, people. I will be back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. To my super chat, thank you. I'll be back, everybody, just like I do always. So, like, in about half hour or so, be here on this channel. Thanks, everybody.